Now your sports update. Sports update. Powered by Mercury Insurance.
Hey, it's Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. Week 1 of the NFL season's in the books with 2 Monday Night Football games wrapping up the week last night. In the first game, it was the Jets pounding the Lions 48-17. Matt Stafford for the Lions threw 4 interceptions in that one. The Jets scored 31 points in the third quarter. In the nightcap, the Raiders, they led 13-10 at the half, but ultimately fell 33-13 to the Los Angeles Rams. Raider quarterback Derek Carr completed 29 of his 40 throws for 303 yards and 3 interceptions. Next up for the Raiders, they'll face the Broncos in Denver on Sunday afternoon. The A's were off last night, but they'll be in Baltimore starting a 3-game series tonight. Mike Fire starts for the Green and Gold against Alex Cobb for the Orioles. Oakland is 3 games back of the Yankees for the first wild card spot and 3 games back of the Astros for first in the AL West. It's 8:02. Time to check out the Marysville Stampede coming this September 15th and 16th. Go to MarysvilleStampede.com for tickets.
Rise and shine, sleepyhead.
I'm not letting you go to work today.
Wait, what?
Everybody, listen up.
Welcome to The Drive.
Morning, morning, morning.
You're gonna talk.
Get on the phone at 339-1140.
Pretty awesome, huh?
Jump in on our text line at 441140.
Everyone is talking about it. You must know that.
The Drive starts now.
Stephon Diggs in motion, Cousins shotgun, takes the snap, short drop, looks right, pats it, fires end zone, caught, touchdown! Cousins, Rudolph, 23-6 Minnesota.
Yeah, that's how it went. We'll have Matt Barrows on in just a couple minutes from The Athletic to talk about that. I want to do as promised. If you hold, former caller here, I'm going to take your call. Mario, you're on The Drive. Thanks for holding through the break. Welcome in. The floor is yours.
Hey, thanks a lot. Hey, I was just wanted to comment on the Raider game from last night. The Rams offense, though, they didn't play at all in the whole preseason, pretty much together.
Yeah.
So I kind of expected they were going to be slow when they came out.
Yep.
So had they played in week 2, I'm pretty sure the score would have been at least 20 points more. Because in the first half, the reason the Raiders were staying in the game is because they had quick runs, quick passes, 2.2 seconds or whatever Carr was getting rid of the ball.
Yep.
And the guys were flat. I mean, they hadn't played together for a while, so the defense was slow getting started. So was the offense. And that's the reason I think it was close in the first half, and then it just kind of opened up in the second half. They made their adjustments. They started gelling together. And the Rams were playing the way everybody expected the Rams to play. And as far as Carr goes, in the first half, he did all right with the quick throws. But in the second half, you can see that he wasn't stepping into his throws. He wasn't confident. He wasn't comfortable. He looked confused. Receivers were running wrong routes, so they were confused. Routes that should have went inside, he throws it outside. I think a lot of that has to do with the play calling and the fact that he wasn't comfortable with what he was doing. And if you're not comfortable, you're not gonna step into it. You're not gonna be, the same way Goff was when you saw him throwing those 60-yard bombs. He was standing in the pocket. There was no pressure on him. He looked like he was comfortable. He was confident. And that's the way that I think in a few weeks, if Derek and Gruden get together or whatever, and get their stuff together, get their, their comfort zone, I think that he'll be playing a lot better. It just, for some reason, those calls he was getting in, he wasn't too comfortable with, and it showed. I mean, you can see the body language. You see Cooper walking around, with his body language like he didn't really want to play. He wasn't even trying to get open. And then Cooks, I mean, he was doing great, but he got tired.
Well, and I think thank you for the call, Mario. I think if the Raiders' offensive minds were in this room right now, what they'd probably say is, what do you want? You want us to – Derek Carr threw 3 picks last night. You want us to throw on that secondary? Seriously? Because you saw what happened when we tried to do that. We're not going up against Fred Smith and Bob Dingelhofer. We're going up against Marcus Peters. We're going up against LaMarcus Joyner. We're going up against Aqib Talib. Oh, and by the way, John Johnson, the guy who nobody knows, he had a pick. That's not a bad secondary. It might be the best secondary in football. I'm not trying to make excuses. I'm not saying Derek Carr looked great. I'm saying I understand where Raider fans coming from, but at the same time, you got to be fair. Would you have rather him had? Would we be sitting here right now if Derek Carr had 6 picks? And we'd be sitting here going, you know what? He had 6 picks, but he had to throw against that secondary. He had to go down the field. Pick your poison. Garrett, you're on the drive.
Hey, how's it going, guys? How you guys doing this morning?
Good, brother.
So first first thing I just want to say, I've been a Raider fan my whole entire life. I'm so excited to see Gruden back at the Coliseum. Having said that, it was really disappointing to see yesterday how it unfolded in the second half. The first half, I was really excited. I was actually at work, and I kept sneaking away to go in the back and check it out when I could. Really excited for that first half. That second half was very disappointing. But what's even more disappointing is listening to all these Raider fans that are calling in and just giving up on Carr and the Raiders and Gruden because of one game. I understand it's Monday Night Football and you got to be better prepared for that, but it's one game. I mean, you're already going to give up. I heard a couple of callers ago say they're winning five games. Like, come on, man. It's one game. You can't judge the whole entire season off of one game.
I completely agree with that. Now, they might only win 5 games, but you cannot judge the entire season based on a game against a Super Bowl contender and a team that is, to be frank, miles better than you.
Are you talking about the Raiders or the 49ers?
Well, let's figure that out because you could say that to both sides of the aisle in the Bay Area. Joining us right now from The Athletic, the one, the only, from Virginia, Matt Barrows. Hello, Matt.
It's starting to roll off your tongue a little bit better, right? The Athletic now.
Okay, so here's the thing. I actually had a thought in my head when I was saying it. I almost, thank you. I almost said, still doesn't sound 100% right, but then I felt like that's like going against your brand now. Like, you're The Athletic, you're proud of that. I don't want to disparage the brand or anything. I'll tell you, Matt, another thing I saw, a good mutual friend of ours and a former colleague of yours, Sam Amick, is also joining The Athletic, and that news was broken by Portland Trailblazer Damian Lillard.
Wow.
I'm really going back. So you guys are, let me just say, The Athletic, kind of creating an all-star team of writers out there.
We used to play, this is back in the late 90s, we used to go down to Land Park on Saturdays and play flag football or two-hand touch football in the park every Saturday morning, me and Sam and a whole bunch of guys from the B. And I was in my mid-20s at that point, and I remember how hard it was some mornings to wake up after having gone out the night before and play those games. But, yeah, I mean, we're talking 20 years later now that we're back on the same team again, me and Sam Amick. I'm psyched about it.
Any chance we might see a reunion of that flag football game?
Yeah, you would see a bunch. I think it would take 35 seconds to see like 5 guys go out with pulled hamstrings at that point.
Is Ben Gay perhaps a sponsor of The Athletic? Because that would
that would be perfect. Yeah, that could be our team name actually. Ben Gay.
Matt Barrows of The Athletic with us. Matt, we've been talking Raiders all morning, and Raider fan, not all, but most, ready to jump off a cliff with that performance last night. Now we switch back to Niner fan. Listen, they got beat. Jimmy Garoppolo threw 3 picks. They also had a chance to tie the game up late in Minnesota for a team that very likely could be going to the Super Bowl this year. What was your from 50,000 feet take off the game Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, week 1 is always so weird, and it's very hard to get a good take on a team just from week 1. I didn't expect the 49ers to win. I thought it would be close. I mean, it ended up being almost exactly how a lot of people saw it. They would hang with the Vikings for most of the game. To me, it was a little worse than I expected. I mean, the Vikings were up 17-3 midway through the third quarter. They weren't stepping on the gas pedal at that point, and I think that has a lot to do with their okay numbers on offense and why the game was close. There wasn't a lot of urgency for them. I felt like they were going to kind of pull away if it ever got really close at the end. But the Jimmy Garoppolo thing, I mean, a lot of mitigating circumstances for his performance, drop passes, One route was run incorrectly and it ended up being the pick six. That was the pivotal play of the game. But, he also wasn't his usual accurate self. I mean, this guy is really good at slants and crossing patterns usually. He's just a very accurate passer, and he wasn't on Sunday, and I'm not exactly sure why that was. He looked that way in that first preseason game against the Cowboys. There was only a few throws that he made, but they all seemed to sail a little bit, and that seems to be what happens to him when he misfires. It just goes high on these receivers, and that's what you saw happen a couple of times on Sunday.
I walked away from that game going, man, if they make one or two more plays, they can win that one. Was that the sentiment in the locker room as well?
Yeah, I think so, and that's sort of the positive takeaway is that the 49ers seem to have the ability to make big plays and even to make touchdowns from anywhere on the field. I mean, it didn't happen, but Kyle Juszczyk, for example, had a 56-yarder. George Kittle could have had an 80-yard touchdown. There was a long one to Dante Pettis that the cornerback broke up in the end zone. I mean, this seems like a very dangerous team, a team that even when you do go up 17-3, the 49ers have the ability to catch up very quickly in dramatic fashion. So that has to be a positive. I thought that Pettis was a big positive in that game. I mean, imagine having Pettis and a healthy Marquise Goodwin on the field at the same time. I mean, two guys that, like I said, can score from if you're on the 3, if you're on the 20, etc. So, I mean, all of that bodes well. They've got more in their arsenal. They just have to get used to playing with it and to pull the trigger on that arsenal when they have the opportunities.
Matt Barrows of The Athletic joining us right now on The Drive. All right, let's talk about the injury situation, and let's start with that offensive line and move on. How are they looking for week 2?
Undetermined. I mean, it's sort of up in the air right now. They've got 3 guards. Eric Magnuson, he's coming back from a hamstring. Mike Person, he's got a foot. And Joshua Garnett dislocated his toe. They're all sort of in the same boat. They may or may not be able to play. So the 49ers are sort of in this no man's land right now without a clear right guard. And boy, that right guard position has just been a bad penny for this team ever since the offseason. They figured, okay, we'll just get a whole bunch of guys at that spot. We'll put all these cats in the bag, and then somebody's going to rise to the surface. But for the last 5 or 6 months, there's just been no solid answers at that position, and that continues. Here we are going into week 2. There's just no obvious choice at right guard for this team. So they may have to go with Matt Tobin, who's a guy that they picked up last week, sort of a journeyman type of guard, and might end up being their best option for the Detroit Lions.
I have a 2-part question here for you, Matt. Yeah, I'm
doing
doing it. No, I'm doing
sit back for this one.
It pertains to injuries, but I'm also dragging this conversation to Fred Warner at some point, so I'm going to do it like this. Do you anticipate Malcolm Smith playing this week against the Lions? And then when Reuben Foster gets back, do you think the 49ers will have to keep Fred Warner in the lineup?
Yes and yes. I mean, let me qualify that. I do think that Malcolm Smith will come back. He seemed close to coming back last week. Obviously he wants to get back in. He hasn't played a single snap for this team since they signed him last offseason. If Warner has anything close to the game that he had on Sunday, I think it's going to be very hard to keep him out of the lineup. And there was a thought when they traded Eli Harold a few weeks ago that would be how the 49ers get Malcolm Smith, Reuben Foster, and Fred Warner on the field, is that Warner would play that Sam linebacker spot. The issue with that is that he's only been studying that middle linebacker spot, the Mike spot, since he was drafted. So there would be some sort of learning curve, time period where he'd have to figure out the Sam spot. The other part of that is that Sam position only plays 40 to 50% of the defensive snaps. I mean, Warner showed that he's an impactful guy. He's good against the pass. He's good against the run. He's a guy that deserves to be out there for 100% of the snaps. So, I think if Reuben Foster comes back, it's going to be something where maybe they ease Foster back into the situation in week 3, or maybe they just sit Malcolm Smith on the sideline and say, okay, you're our first linebacker off the bench, and have a Warner Foster duo, which is what they're envisioning for the future. They didn't envision it for 2018, but Warner's come along a lot faster than anybody thought he would.
Well, speaking of the kids,
most people thought he would.
That's his guy. By the way, that's Kyle's guy. The moment Fred Warner was drafted, do you have a Warner jersey yet, Kyle?
No, not yet.
Dante Pettis, second rounder. He becomes the first Niner, I should say, since Vernon Davis in 2006 to score a touchdown on his first NFL reception. That's the good news. The bad news is his workload jumped, as you noted in your athletic column, Matt, because of the injury to Marquise Goodwin. So I'll follow up Kyle's two-parter with a 1 and 1A here. You're great on Dante Pettis, or at least the coaching staff's grade. And then also, do we have any sort of update on Marquise Goodwin at all?
We don't. I mean, Goodwin, if you watch that play, it's pretty dramatic. He's running basically down the line of scrimmage from his wide receiver spot at full speed, and a defensive lineman is coming the other way at his full speed, and the defensive lineman's knee goes into Goodwin's thigh, and it's like he's hit. It literally looks like you see from traffic cams when pedestrians get hit by cars. He goes flying. And I don't think that leg was firing correctly for the rest of the game, which is why he tried to come back and just couldn't go. So I don't know whether something that's impactful will how long they last. I mean, it seemed like a very, very deep bruise in the thigh. So I'm not sure, but Pettis. It was mixed. He did some bad things. He had a couple of drops. He didn't run routes perfectly every time he was in, but again, he's got that danger element, the ability to score from anywhere, to really put pressure on the back ends of defenses that, especially when Marquise Goodwin isn't in the game, he's valuable. And even if Goodwin is available, that's a double whammy that would make any defense nervous, I think. So, I see his snap count going up, even if Goodwin is back against the Lions.
Matt Barrows at The Athletic with us, looking at Richard Sherman, his first game for the 49ers, targeted twice. Stephon Diggs caught an 18-yard pass and was overthrown on the second target. Most of the damage came elsewhere. So when you're looking at Richard Sherman, I would imagine it's tough, because how much of the fact that he was only targeted twice came from his actual play and coverage, and how much of that, in your opinion, was reputation on Richard Sherman?
Yeah, I think it's a little of both. I mean, that deep ball from Cousins to Diggs that was incomplete. Diggs did have a step on him, and if it was one of those perfect passes that Cousins threw, that would have been a big completion, if not a touchdown. So, but it did seem like a typical Richard Sherman game where there's only 2 or 3 balls that go in his direction, and the quarterback basically spends his time looking elsewhere, and that elsewhere on Sunday was to the slot receiver at Adam Thielen. He seemed to be Cousins' favorite target, and they were effective with more than 100 yards for Thielen. So it's hard to say. I thought that the 49ers covered pretty well, even the touchdown that Akello Witherspoon gave up. He was in good position. It was just a very, very good throw, and Witherspoon never looked back for the ball. I guess that's a catch-22 for any quarterback if you're in that situation. If you look back, then you slow up a bit, and the receiver gets away from you, and that happened a couple of times to them. But I would say that Richard Sherman was mostly happy with his performance on Sunday. It looked, like I said, like it could have come from 2012, 2014, any of Richard Sherman's previous years.
Last thing for you, Matt, and you wrote brilliantly that the Niners had schemed their pass rush to funnel those passes into DeForest Buckner, who had a great game, wonderful game. 3 sacks last year total, 2.5 on Sunday. Is this to you the sign of more things to come? And really, I know we've talked about it But maybe the NFL world isn't talking enough about you. You look at the Philadelphia defense, the Rams, the Vikings, maybe even the Chargers with some of their acquisitions. But it seems like there's enough young talent on this Niner defense when they get Reuben Foster back with Buckner playing the way he is, Solomon Thomas. They might actually have something there.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it starts with a run, and I thought the run defense, even though the Vikings had a big lead, even though they've concentrated on their running game in years past, they held them to the running backs at least to 3 yards a carry, which is what you want as a defense. So that aspect of it was good. Again, they did get pressure on Cousins. I think there were 6 quarterback hits, 3 sacks. That's a good game for any defense. Yeah, the issue is that he still was pretty comfortable for most of the game and had a passer rating in the 90s, which was the case all of last season for the 49ers. So I didn't feel like they were really disrupting the Vikings from what they wanted to do in the passing game, and that's sort of the key for this defense. I think that's the next step to go from a good defense, a solid defense, to one of the better ones in this league.
Last thing for you, Matt, the Detroit Lions gave up 48 points, a little bit less if you don't count for the pick sixes, but they gave up a lot of points to the New York Jets. We don't know what either of those teams are, but maybe wait till after the Lions game to judge Jimmy Garoppolo in that offense a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, boy, that Lions-Jets game was hard to watch. I mean, this has got to be a rebound game for the 49ers. The Lions not only were putrid the other night, but they're working on a short week. They're going across country, and they've got injuries up and down that lineup. Ziggy Ansah got hurt. LeGarrette Blount got hurt. Darius Slay, their top cornerback, got hurt. So this has got to be a rebound game for everybody, Jimmy Garoppolo included. And, I think that's going to happen. I mean, no team took it on the chin like the Detroit Lions did in Week 1.
Matt Barrows dominating Sam Amick in flag football. You heard it here
himself.
First. Yeah, exactly. It wasn't even close. And he'll continue to do that if the Athletic gets a game together, as they have such a phenomenal stable of writers. And on a serious note, I'm such a fan of what the Athletic is doing. I'm a huge fan of the written word, of good content, and I love the fact that they're snatching up and paying so many good, talented writers like Matt. Go to theathletic.com. I have a subscription. It's unbelievably cheap for the content you get. And Matt, we appreciate you coming on with us each and every week.
Well, thank you for those kind words, and thank you for having me on.
You got it, buddy. That train come yet?
Yeah, we missed it today. Oh, boy. How am I going to get to work if the train doesn't come by?
We'll talk to you soon, buddy. Take care.
All right, talk to you soon. Bye.
All right, that's Matt Barrows, and we are way late for a break. When we get back, I'm going to switch it around a little bit. We're going to run through a lot of stuff. The Kings released their training camp schedule. We'll get to that. And then I just have a couple of notes on Week 1 in the NFL and last night's football action specifically. Kyle, did you have something?
Is one of those notes that it's time to play 9 at Sierra Pines Golf Course and that you can learn more at timbercreekgc.com?
Yes.
Nice.
Back in a couple. Sports 1140 KHTK.
Sports 1140 KHTK. We do sports.
For 3, it's partially blocked, and the hand on it with Giles. Leaking out, Giles breaks the grab, puts it on the glass, and scores. Nice lead pass. Kings take their first lead of the ball game.
Sports 1140 KHTK. Your home of the Kings.
The Fix Finder tool from AutoZone is a source of relief. Because when your check engine goes, our Fix Finder goes. No matter what your problem is, our Fix Finder will help you troubleshoot it. For some, it's just a loose gas cap. For others, an O2 sensor. So you can kiss that yellow light goodbye and go, It's the free Fix Finder from AutoZone. It's just one more way AutoZone helps you do more. Because doing more is what we do best. So visit any of our 5,500 AutoZone locations nationwide today. See store for details.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. There's a time and a place for black and white. Like when you're learning to play piano. Or when you want a big two-toned cookie. Or when shopping for a pet zebra. But if you want to attract customers, there's no room for black and white. So go to Staples. Staples specializes in bold, hard-to-miss color printing. And now at Staples, Staples get 20% back in rewards on color printing, from banners to brochures and copies to presentations. Print more color, save more money at Staples.
In-store only. Ends 11/10/18. Restrictions apply. See store associate or staples.com/20back for details.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute, brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. Keep your car on the road with quality parts and Napa know-how. As we commemorate the 17th anniversary of the terrorist attacks on the Twin Towers, the National September 11th Memorial and Museum is debuting a special exhibition called Comeback Season: Sports After 9/11. It explores how sports help to console and unite a grieving nation, giving Americans the chance to cheer again. Among the iconic moments on display are Mike Piazza's dramatic two-run home run during the first game after 9/11, former President George W. Bush's ceremonial first pitch at a Yankee Stadium World Series game, Mark Messier of the Rangers paying homage to FDNY Chief Raymond Downey, who played on the department's hockey team, and the New York City Marathon attracting 2 million spectators to watch 30,000 runners. I'm Boomer Esiason.
Napa know-how. Peak Long Life Antifreeze is just $8.99 plus a $5 mail-in rebate. It keeps your engine the right temperature, no matter how hot or cold it gets, so you can be ready for whatever crazy cold, crazy hot, or crazy whatever weather fall has in store. That's Peak Antifreeze, just $8.99 plus $5 rebate. Quality parts, helpful people. That's Napa know-how.
Napa know-how.
At participating Napa Auto Parts stores. Offer ends 9/30/18.
With Labor Day savings at the Home Depot, good things come in pairs. Like a Samsung front-loading high-efficiency washer and electric dryer, now just $648 each. Save over $500 on the pair. They're high capacity, so larger loads are no problem. And at this lower price, neither are smaller budgets. Up to 40% off appliance special buys now at the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. U.S. only while supplies last. Gas jar extra. See store for details. Valid through September 12th.
Since we've had USAA, we've had two claims. We had an auto insurance claim and a homeowner's claim. The auto insurance claim, we were rear-ended, and my daughter was actually in the car when it happened. I called USAA. I downloaded the app, and from there on out, it was a very seamless process. They really understood, and they were actually concerned about my daughter's well-being and her safety.
From the moment he uploaded the photos to taking the damaged vehicle to the auto body and having a rental car there, USAA understands the day-to-day life. This is our home. These are our cars. This is where we pick up our kids from school. This is how we get to work.
I feel USAA is very committed to getting you back on your feet. We're the Bakers, and we're USAA members for life.
See how much you could save with USAA by bundling your auto and home insurance. Get a quote today.
Ability to receive a quote depends on membership eligibility. Product membership eligibility and bundling savings restrictions apply and are subject to change. Members paid for their participation. United Services Automobile Association and its affiliate, San Antonio, Texas.
Tune into A's baseball all season long on Sports 1140 KHTK. Brought to you by Chase Chevrolet in Stockton. Chase, find new roads. Chase Chevrolet, buy into it.
Sports 1140 will be at King Kong Brewing Company, 1709 Del Paso Boulevard, this Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. Win prizes and enjoy great beers at King Kong Brewing, proud sponsor of Sports Fest.
Now your sports update. Sports update. Powered by Mercury Insurance.
This is Kyle Madson with your top stories on Sports 1140. Week 1 of the NFL season is in the books, and it finished up with 2 Monday Night Football games last night. In the first one, the Jets topped the Lions 48-17, and then in the nightcap, the Raiders led 13-10 at the half, but fell to the Rams 33-13. Next up for Oakland is a road trip to the Mile High City to face the Broncos in Denver. The A's were off last night, but they'll be back in action tonight. They open a 3-game set against the Orioles in Baltimore. It'll be Mike Fiers against Alex Cobb in that one. Oakland is 3 games back of the Yankees for first in the wild card and 3 games back of the Astros. I should say they're 3 games back of the Yankees for the first wild card, and they're 3 games back of the Astros for first in the AL West. I know, dude. Okay, I got it.
Together.
I got it. It's 8:31. Time to check out the Marysville Stampede coming this September 15th and 16th. Go to MarysvilleStampede.com for tickets.
Here we go. The drive continues now.
Scott Bair, NBC Sports California, will join us Tomorrow at 8:05, our Matt Barrows counterpart with the Raiders, basically. He will break down everything from yesterday. Good calls and good content from all of you today. We appreciate you on the text line, the Jiffy Lube text line at 441140, and the Fire Wings hotline at 339-1140. Speaking of Jiffy Lube, want to send another shout out to them and our good friends over at the Sac Republic for our video stream. You can check out the final half hour of the show and all 3 hours of the show on a daily basis at khtk.com. Just go to the top right of the screen if you're on the desktop. Go to the middle bottom if you're on your tablet or your phone. A couple things I want to get out of the way. You know, Kyle, it's very sports talk radio host guy-ish
to say that it's time to play 9 at Sierra Pines Golf Course and to learn more at timbercreekgc.com.
Yes. Also, to make a statement, and then if the response or prediction or whatever does not go your way, to just bury it. Well, I'm not that guy, and I think you know this by now. I'm just not that guy.
I do know that about you.
So let me just say, at the start of the program, Kyle and I got into a heated argument about Marcus Peters, and not Mark. Okay, the guy's name is Marcus Peters, and the fact that he fell into the end zone copying a celebration from his cousin Marshawn Lynch by grabbing his crotch as he was flying backwards into the end zone. I said, hey, I'm all for celebrating, but kids are watching. Let's go ahead and calm down on the crotch grab. Kyle said, avocado, avocado, student loan debt, avocado, which translated means he's living his best life. Let him have fun. It's fine. Is that about accurate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Avocado. Look, when it comes to sports celebrations like this, there are avocados and avocados.
Yeah. Hey, quick avocado aside. I made a sandwich with avocado yesterday. There's no joke.
Right?
Did
you mash the avocado onto the bread, or do you go whole slice?
Here's what I do. I cut the avocado open, all right, and I take the knife and
it's my favorite part.
And twist out the...
Yeah, best part.
Then I take the knife and I crisscross cut the avocado, dig it out with a spoon or a fork, and then just kind of spread it. It's like little squares.
Yeah, okay.
When an avocado begins to brown on the outside of the inside, if you get my point, like when you scoop it out.
On the edges.
Do you scoop lightly as to avoid the brown, or do you use the brown?
It depends. It depends on how brown. If it's just like that little kind of crisp on the outside, then I just take the whole thing. If it's super brown, I'll cut around.
Not a fan.
And if it's super brown, that's probably not a good avocado to eat.
I would tend to agree with that, although I'm sure some avocado aficionados are going to be like, actually, that's when it's ripe, guys. It's like when a banana's mushy, but I don't like mushy bananas, so get off of me. All right, so we put out a poll.
Yeah.
Marcus Peters' crotch grab touchdown was A, let him have fun, or B, no, kids are watching. 76% of respondents said something to the effect of avocado, avocado.
They said that's an avocado.
Avocado. 76% of respondents are obviously young millennials with no respect for anything and said, yeah, absolutely, Marcus Peters, grab your crotch in front of, the whole world and send kids home. So today, though, they're gonna be here's what's gonna happen in a Raider fan household. Hey, Johnny, did you finish your homework? No, Dad, I didn't. Crotch grab. What do you want from me? Falls backwards into his room.
Hilarious.
It's funny.
If my child did that, I don't have children.
But then the same thing, though. See, in the same breath, though, when Daddy goes to discipline Johnny, you're going to be like, yelling at Johnny is bad for his psyche, and really he should be reinforced with allowing his personality to come out and to enjoy it. He should be encouraged to do things like crotch grabbing, because I saw an article the other day about how they should ban making presentations in front of the class in school.
I saw that, too.
Did you see that? Because kids should not be put in a position where they get the anxiety of presenting in front of a class. Now, as somebody who has actually been diagnosed with not just ADD, but anxiety and has been on medication for it,
You're not great in public.
Not at all. I don't like it. And I've been put in situations where I've had to like it. I don't like it. It terrifies me. You might say, well,
Sure.
you're on the radio, stupid. Well, I'm on the radio talking to Kyle in 4 walls. I'm not on the radio talking in front of a crowd of 10,000. It's a different story. You gotta have the kids stand up and do the thing. I'm sorry if it puts them in a bad spot. But sometimes you need to be put in a bad spot because Lord knows when you get older, you're going to be put in a bad spot. All right, a couple things I have for you, Kyle.
Great point in the 916. A kid should have been sleeping. It was 10:30 when that happened. Bang.
Why give the kid
if you care that much?
Why force the child to adhere to societal norms with a bedtime? Let the kid live his life.
Because it's good for their development.
Nah, that's
so
what
they
you
can,
say.
So they can be awake and alert in school, and they can learn and be productive members of society.
I'm such a prude. I still don't let my kids watch Family Guy. Like, I don't even let them watch Family Guy. Like, we still have to do movies that don't have swear words in it. They're 10 and 9. I admit, I'm a little tight-assed.
You're living your best life.
Yeah. Okay, I got a bunch of stuff I want to get to in about 3 minutes here. The Marshawn Lynch pick from last night's broadcast. Did you see this? Marshawn Lynch in high school,
Yeah.
Marshawn Lynch now.
If you were watching or on social media, you could not have missed it.
Wow. My question is, how did it take so long for that to come out? And if you didn't see it, they showed a picture of Marshawn Lynch in high school, and I don't know how to even describe it. He looked, dare I say, nerdy almost.
Yes.
Nerdy.
Yes.
I wouldn't, if you had.
I'm guessing that was like a graduation photo.
Sure.
That has been in the Lynch family house. And when Monday Night Football came to town and said, hey, we're going to be in Oakland. We want to do a feature on Marshawn Lynch. They hit up Marshawn Lynch's family. And his mom said, yeah, I got a picture for you. Check this one out.
Yeah, thanks a lot, moms. Appreciate you. Thanks for doing that.
That's what I'm supposing happened.
You know, I tried to imagine the amount of crap Lynch is going to get from his teammates today, and then I realized he's probably not going to get any because he's Marshawn Lynch. From the hot takes from the text line from the 209, in regards to the whole crotch grabbing thing, I really blame Star-Lord from Avengers Infinity War. He didn't grab his crotch, but he did flip off Thanos and fell backwards into a spell by Doctor Strange. That's a great point.
Really good point.
I hadn't thought of that.
And honestly, based on the events of Infinity War, spoiler alert, turn your radio down in 3, 2, 1. Peter Quill can stay falling down holes for the rest of forever. It's all his fault.
Let's put it this way. He literally killed half the universe.
Literally,
Yep. Don't get started. We have a lot to go. Oh, the hot take of the day goes to the 916.
Oh, don't do it.
I believe
Don't you do it.
Oh, of course I'm going to do it.
Oh,
it's
you're
in front of my
do
face.
It. Why do you guys do this?
If athletes are willing to take a knee during the anthem, grabbing their crotch is no big deal. By the way, grabbing their crotch is spelled There. Why is it that the dumbest trolls always misspell stuff and they're dumb trolling?
Because they're dumb.
That's a good point. I thought Booger McFarlane was fine.
Thought he was good. He was actually, given his vantage point, sitting on the side, I thought he was really good.
It's just weird that he talked more than the color analyst, and we'll get to that in a second. But I will say this. Once I got it in my head that he sounded like the actor Anthony Anderson, I couldn't hear anything else.
I wasn't listening for that. So
when you go back and listen for it, and you won't be able to think anything else. It's dead ringer for Anthony Anderson. Was good to see a Cowboy continue that Dallas Cowboy tradition of really coming up in the clutch. Jason Witten last night in the booth. Lights come on. Hey, more like Jason No Witten.
He wasn't great.
No, he was not.
It was his first game. You can tell he knows what he's talking about.
Sure.
He's having a hard irony.
He's having a
hard time articulating it.
Yes, he was. I'm rooting for Jason Witten. I think the problem is that Tony Romo gave him way too much of a high bar.
Yes.
Because Jason Witten could barely talk last night.
Yeah.
It was not good.
And I'm not saying they should fire him. He'll get better. He got his first game nerves out. He'll be fine.
Finally, oh my God, a woman was calling Monday Night Football. What are we going to do?
I thought Mowens and Greasy did a great job.
Okay, so Beth Mowens and Brian Greasy.
Yeah.
It just sounds weird when you say it the other way. I thought, I don't even want to go into that. I'm fine, whatever. I don't know why I didn't notice this. Beth Mowens, did you catch a pretty strong accent coming from her? I know she's from New York, but it sounded very Minnesotan to me.
Yeah.
Very much North Midwest.
Distinct.
Yes.
Accent.
Okay, so it wasn't just me.
No, it's just Beth Mowens in general.
Okay. I couldn't get, that's all I could hear. I just kept hearing this accent. And having spent a little time in St. Paul, that's what it sounded like. I went on Wikipedia. She went to Syracuse. So she's from Syracuse. So, but that's northern New York. Maybe they have a different accent there than your New York.
Yeah, I thought that broadcast team was good. Just really solid. I enjoyed it.
We'll take a break. When we get back, what's on tap right here on The Drive? Sports 1140 KHTK.
Sports 1140 KHTK has made your mornings even better. Check out The Drive every morning on KHTK.com to not only hear the show, but to see the show as well. The Drive is now video streaming every morning from 6 to 9 on KHTK.com. All presented by the Sacramento Republic FC and by Jiffy Lube.
Carmichael Dave here for my good friend Dr. Jack Friedlander and NorCal Lipo. Hey, listen. Hey, listen. If you're happy with your body, move on. Don't worry about it. Go get yourself something to drink or whatever. We'll be back in a couple minutes. But if you're somebody who is dreading the holidays coming up because you know that's when you pack on a little bit more flab, and maybe you've got more flab right now than you need, and maybe, just maybe, you work out, you exercise, you diet right, whatever you do, and you just can't get rid of it. There's two types of people that mostly are the ones that go see Dr. Jack. Number one, what I just said. You've tried everything, and you look fine, but you just got that spot you can't get rid of. You just got that spot when you get out of the shower and you look in the mirror and you go, go away. And you can't isolate body part. You can't do that. You can't just do butt workouts and get rid of that fat. You got to do the whole thing. You know this. And you got the other people that are like, yeah, Cheetos are good, and I don't care about working out, but I don't want to look bigger. Okay. Either way, no one's judging you. We're not here to judge. We're here to direct you to Dr. Jack Friedlander right up there in Roseville. And go to NorCal Lipo, get a free, no obligation consultation appointment at 347-7755. That's 916-347-7755 and NorCalLipo.com. That's NorCalLipo.com. Get in there today and tell them your good buddy, Carmichael Dave Sanjaha.
Hey, Raiders fans, looking for an easier way to get to the game? Ditch the traffic and hop aboard the Capitol Corridor for a comfortable and convenient ride. And save 25% on fares when you travel to Raiders games at the Coliseum. Grab a snack in the cafe car or just sit back and enjoy the ride. The train drops you off at the Coliseum station just minutes from the Coliseum entrance gates. And with up to 30 trains a day between Sacramento and the Bay Area, it's easy to find one that fits your schedule. Visit rideccrail.com for more info.
This ain't the first time it's happened, is it? Yeah, that's how it is with backed up drains. A DIY fix might clear things up for a little bit, but you'll keep getting backed up at the most inconvenient times until you fix it right. So call the home service heroes at Bonnie. For most clogs, Bonnie can fix your drain for just $97. They'll use professional-grade equipment to cable out your clogged drain till it's flowing free and clear. Boom, problem gone. No more half measures and no more worries. Not every problem can be fixed by cabling, but Bonnie has the cameras, tools, and expertise to diagnose and fix bigger problems correctly. Plus, their stand-up techs will shoot you straight, show you the video, and provide guaranteed quotes. But honestly, 80% of the time, it's a $97 fix, if you're smart enough to call Bonnie. Details at Bonnie.com. License 696355. BONNEY. Bonnie.com.
What happened? You used to go hours without visiting the bathroom. Now it seems like you're constantly getting up to pee, and you're even getting up at night to go. This is not okay. Listen, the makers of Super Beta Prostate, the #1 prostate formula, are introducing a new wonder pill, Super Beta Prostate P3 Advanced, with 3 key ingredients that are great for your prostate. It's like taking 3 prostate supplements in one. To celebrate, we're sending free bottles to men who want to cut down on bathroom trips. Yes, your first 30-day supply is free. Pay shipping and handling. Just dial pound 250 on your mobile phone and say the keyword nighttime. Early research suggests that an ingredient in P3 Advanced may help support a normal prostate size. Combine that with a reduction in urges to pee, and you have a formula you'd be crazy not to try. Try P3 Advanced free. Dial pound 250 on your mobile phone and say the keyword nighttime. Again, dial pound 250 and say the keyword nighttime.
Hey, sweetie, what's going on?
Well, honey, I have some news.
Okay, what?
All that training paid off. I got the job.
Oh, I knew you would get it. So when do you start?
When you donate stuff to Goodwill, you help provide job training for people right here in your community. Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad
Attention
Council.
high school football fans. Be sure to log on to KHTK.com and vote now for the Stockton Honda Game of the Week. Listen every Friday night and get all the coverage on KHTK.com.
Win tickets to America's Greatest Game Show hosted by Eric Estrada only at Cache Creek. Visit CacheCreek.com for details.
It's the end of the show, but it's the start of your workday. For a cold one, it's What's on Tap. Here's What's on Tap.
All right, what's on tap time? Let's start with the A's. They are in Baltimore to take on the Orioles. Mike Fiers on the mound versus Alex Cobb. 4:05 first pitch. And the San Francisco Giants, the reeling San Francisco Giants, just waiting basically, let's be honest, for the season to be over at 68-77. They're at home facing the Atlanta Braves, who are having a fantastic season at 80-64. So some baseball back on now that we're done with the NFL for the week. I want to remind you all guests brought to you by the Firewings Hotline. 21 different flavors to choose from. Firewings.com, just wing. A couple things I want to do before we go here. Kyle, every once in a while I like to do letters from listeners. And this letter is in the form of, they use social media to write us, actually me specifically, but I don't want to seem self-serving here. But allow me a moment to read this. Now, you'll remember, Kyle, after the game Sunday, the Sunday night game, I sent out a tweet that said, while Khalil Mack was busy worrying about individual stats, the Pack won as a team. And then immediately underneath it said, guys, imagine thinking I was serious. I was singing Khalil Mack's praises the whole game. 99.9% of everybody got it. This letter from Twitter user Mingo Grant. Not Napier Grant, Mingo, as in Barkevius. What a joke, Dave. The guy wanted to get paid like the best player in the league. The Raiders didn't want to pay him, so they parted ways. He gave you guys everything he had on the field, and now you're blank talking him. You shouldn't even be called Carmichael Dave. You're a disgrace, YOUR. You're never in Carmichael. You're giving the area a crappy name with your BS takes and asinine opinions. At Sports1140 KHTK, hashtag fire Carmichael Dave. They're going to fire the wrong guy, though, Mingo Grant, because you actually put hashtag fire Carmichael Dave. Carmichael Dave.
I can't believe you're butchering my name that badly. Mingo, it's pronounced Madson.
Finally, from Mingo Grant on Twitter. At Mingo Grant.
Madson.
Change your GD name. You are a disgrace to Carmichael. Well, let me just say, we appreciate all your feedback and all of you as listeners to the program. We're honored to have this sandbox to play in. And we encourage you to listen even more.
I think.
Thank you, Mingo Grant. That I'm going to wear that compliment all day.
I think Mingo is all barkevious and no bite. Maybe he should go to Fire Wings and get some Mingo habanero wings.
I want to remind you, UC Davis opens Big Sky Conference play September 22nd against the University of Idaho. This year marks the 100th season of UC Davis football. That's a big, big benchmark right there. Join Scotty the Body Marsh and Kelly DK on KHTK to catch UC Davis play nationally ranked Stanford. Be sure to check out UCDavisAggies.com for several great ticket package deals. Still available. Go Ags. Back to you, Kyle Madson.
We're also giving away Rascal Flatts tickets today. I have 2 pairs to give away. That's right. 2 pairs to see Rascal Flatts playing at Toyota Amphitheater on September 20th. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Also get your tickets right now. 4th and 5th callers will get 2 tickets to see Rascal Flatts at the Toyota Amphitheater at September 20th. All KHTK giveaways are powered by RosevilleAutomall.com.
Give me a time check here. About how long do we have?
We have about 4.5 minutes.
4.5 minutes. Somebody already on Twitter saying you just got blasted on live air. They tweeted this guy. No, I thanked him. There was no blasting.
Yeah.
I said, thank you, Mingo Grant. And you know what? And I'm with you. Hashtag fire Carmichael Dave.
Don't even, hey, look, Carmichael Dave.
Carmichael Dave.
If I don't know who you are by now. I've been at the station for like 2 years, and you've certainly been here way longer than that, and you don't know who that guy is. He's not being very productive at work and should be fired. I agree.
Fire him immediately.
That's a good one.
All right. Let's end on this note. So we said we'll bookend this. We said this at the beginning of the show, and I'll say it again. I never know what to say on the, I don't even call it an anniversary. It seems too celebratory of 9/11. And as I also said earlier, I don't think any of you are relying on a dumb sports donkey like me to say something profound other than what I said earlier, which is I remember where I was. Odds are you remember where you were, depending on how old you are. It is a moment no one will ever forget. And again, it's tough to use descriptors in this because when I say something like one of my favorite moments, there were no favorite moments. This was a national tragedy that still sticks with us today. But I wanted to quickly play audio. Is the best thing I can do to honor the anniversary of what happened. I wanted to play audio of something that I think in what was maybe the darkest time for us as a country, for those of us under 40 years old, that actually stirred a little bit in your heart and in your soul when this happened. I'll play this for you now. I'm pretty sure you'll recognize it.
Thank you all. George! I want you all to know you can't go any louder. I want you all to know that America today is on bended knee in prayer for the people whose lives were lost here, for the workers who work here, for the families who mourn. This nation stands with the good people of New York City and New Jersey and Connecticut as we mourn the loss of thousands of our citizens. I can hear you! I can hear you, the rest of the world hears you, and the people who knock these buildings down will hear all of us soon. The nation sends its love and compassion. God bless America! To everybody who is here. Thank you for your hard work. Thank you for making the nation proud. And may God bless America.
I don't really know what else to say, nor should I. That was certainly one of the more memorable moments. And all day today we will be filled on television, and I watch every single year, of all kinds of specials, remembrances, all of it. So, hey, you know what? All I say is hug your loved ones a little tighter. That's the most profound thing I have for you. For Matt Barrows of The Athletic, the executive producer of the video cast, is Eunice back there doing a tremendous job, as always. And I want to thank Jiffy Lube and also Sac Republic for making that video cast possible. Remember, as far as the audio goes, you can grab that on the app. Also, downloading that KHTK app will get you into Sports Fest for free, coming up 1 week from this Saturday. And for Kyle Madson, avocado. See you tomorrow at 6 a.m. Jim Rome is next. Enjoy the rest of your broadcast day right here on Sports 1140 KHTK. Bye now.
These great moments in sports happened right here on Sports.